dañ koy soxla de mën ko.
From Dr. Rowe. And on behalf of the World Conference of Mayors, I am joined with Monty from Dr. Rowe, our Director of Affordable Housing, Ishmael Ferguson Bay, and the Honorable Bobby Hunter, also from World Conference of Mayors. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of who Dr. Rowe is, what World Conference of Mayors may mean to everyone, in addition to the various programs, initiatives, and efforts that's going on here, and that can happen definitely in Senegal and abroad. So with that said, Dr. Rowe is a nonpartisan foreign unincorporated association who are contributing to overcoming dehumanization. We'll deal with a cross-section of issues, violence, domestic violence, human trafficking, malnutrition. We deal with drug abuse, prevention, poverty, autoimmune and systemic disease. We are here in a capacity under the auspices of Sultanate E.A. Al-Maricanos Estados, Imperial Foreign Ministry Consul number 4783. And we were invited by Dr. Abdullahi, author and great leader in the Vice President as World Conference of Mayors. Now, Dr. Rowe specifically creates a galvanization of cooperative consortiums, individuals, and other distinguished persons to interested persons contributing to overcoming dehumanization with an infrastructure incorporating framework with an infrastructure perspective, with bioethics and human rights comprehension and universal declaration of bioethics. Directly, we work with companies like Idina Health to provide clinics, teleclinics, in addition to wellness clinics. We also work with something called FinCare Tech, recently launched with the World Conference of Mayors in New Orleans. FinCare Tech is an initiative, an environment that makes health number one. It is unfair for everyone to be reduced to questioning if they should have health. It's everybody's right to have health. And in order to have the right health, you need the proper finance to support it. So with that, FinCare Tech creates that environment, that relationship between finance and health to help clinics, establish the proper health needed and support needed in that. So imagine if you have a family member here who owns a home, who's in an apartment, who's having a heart surgery, and he's worried about his family, or she's worried about her family. Are they going to still be in their home? Are they going to get foreclosed while this is serious surgery needs to happen? You don't have to decide between keeping your home and keeping your health, because the family needs to be intact. So FinCare Tech creates that financial area to be able to support that. We also work with dealings with agriculture. Agriculture is the number one piece of importance in economy. Not only having land, but actually knowing how to till it, actually having the tools to have the tilling process, in addition to being able to sell their products, import and export. It has to be a compilation of all these things that make the economy much better. We also deal with the importance of mental illness and malnutrition. And that we work with Dr. Erin Krantz on the World Conference of Mayors. Now this piece is very important because malnutrition affects something called stunting. Stunting is an issue that we have presented in the United Nations concerning the ability to have the proper foods for your body, especially those maternal situations where we have pregnancies that the mothers don't have enough food, or when the babies are born, they don't have enough food. And so this is important because stunting is a lifelong disability. It affects how you think, it affects how your body grows, and it affects the community in totality. What's so simple that one of the initiatives that we established is something called CMOS, working out of Tanzania. We encourage the importance of women in the work area, in the workplace, and the environment. And in Tanzania, we have CMOS that is available, that women farmers have access to extract, and we support those women farmers in something called Lion's Mane CMOS. womb-crafted sea moss. This is important because mothers are the cultivators of culture, right? They are the ones that create the space for us to be valued and have the proper nutrition to be able to be a strength in this environment. So with that said, we have that here and we should be able to spread that. We also work in the bio area where we can use sea moss as a fertilization for agricultural work. And so we're willing and ready to work with that in the capacity of Senegal and how we can create programs for the youth and programs that exist for adults to make sure we're doing the work that we must come together to do. Now, I want to touch base a little bit on some of the initiatives and the importance of working in New York, Harlem, the place and space where we have a huge Senegalese population. In this space, we have to understand those that are here want to be able to be as effective here as they are back home and being able to send back home to support the families there too. So we have a sports initiative that brings that forward and we'll be able to establish that even more as we continue our presentation. Right now I'm going to pass it on to Monty, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the World Conference of Mayors and the importance of this leadership. It's a leadership-based platform to be able to make sure mayors and upcoming mayors, people that are learning to do this work, and the importance of the people to be able to have the skills, the networking, and the relationship to make them even more effective in their areas.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, everyone. Basically, we are here to speak about sustainability and mutual benefit between municipalities, countries, and creating generational wealth within our families and to create economic security. So in that, we're here on behalf of the World Conference of Mayors, where we're setting on 7 of their pillars, which is trust, trade, tourism, treasure, training,
Twin Cities,
right? So these are the pillars that we stand on. Basically, this is how we will be working cooperatively, strengthening every community. We're going to go from top to bottom, bottom to top. So that way, each group and individual feels the enrichment that we're promoting. Now, one of the ways that we're doing that, of course, as my sister has mentioned, is through a sports initiative. The sports initiative that we're creating is to make sure to turn Senegal into one of the top countries as far as the optics go. So that way it will increase trade, tourism, economics, increase possibilities for loans, and also better communications with the world to understand the culture. So that way we can combat the forms of discriminations that we've heard of today, especially with the language. Thank you very much. Affordable Housing Initiative Director, Ishmael Bates.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Ishmael Bates, first, okay? I'm the head of affordable housing, and affordable housing is an issue that we know because for everybody that has security, home is your first place, correct? And when your home is your community, like arms, like people. So if people don't have a home to go to, even with the immigration issue right now, affordable housing is a need. So if we can find the right solutions to provide affordable housing here in New York, we look to expand that to city to city, state to state, country to country. So it's not just a point about here in New York, we talk about worldwide. And in that aspect of affordable housing, we also talk about those who do have homes, who need the support to fight against some of these foreclosures that is creating gentrification here in New York City, but also throughout the world. everybody can understand those factors should all have a better way, right? Because once your home is secure and your house is affordable, which also leads to having food that's affordable, which is also a part of having affordable healthcare. These things are all cross factors and things that I'm a part of with the affordable housing. So these are the things that we're looking to put forward, and other initiatives will be coming down the line, and we're hoping that everybody will be able to come and embrace these things and work with us as we work with you. Thank you.
Now, with that said, a piece of what we want to mention, first, we want to mention thank you to Celine inviting us to here. We appreciate the invite. We appreciate the ability to work with your group. We've been welcomed like family, and we take that seriously. So, with that said, this sports initiative is a very important piece, and it speaks to leadership. And leadership is a transitional space in which you learn these things in the sports arena to be able to bring it across economically. And we want to thank Honorable Bobby Hunter for being here to be able to present, and we welcome him to be able to speak upon some of those leadership initiatives and some of the other programs that we're working with him on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. Let's see, where do we start? I'm from Harlem, 129th Street and Lennox Avenue. Born in the old Harlem Hospital. I played with the Globetrotters, Curly Neal, Jackie Jackson, Connie Hawkins, Mel Hartman, Will Chamberlain. He stole my girl. I'm an ambassador for the World Conference of Mayors. The World Conference of Mayors is having a gala in New Orleans, August 1st to the 3rd, 2024, where the International Federation for Love and Peace will be there. The World Group will be there. Each One Teach One Drug Free World will be there. The Harlem Globetrotters alumni will be there. The International Agricultural Summit will be there. The Pan-African Union Group will be there. The Love Bio Group will be there. Wow, I don't think I'll sleep some nights putting this all together, where you have a great meal like you had today. That was a great meal. Let me hear it.
Yes.
Wow. Especially the people that had 2 plates. I'm very enthused about Africa and helping Africa.
That's right.
Oh, why is that? I'm from Harlem. But one day I was at school and they said, "Where you from?" I said, "129th Street, Harlem." They said, "No, where's your family from?" I said, "Oh, South Carolina, Florida." No, they said, "Where did they originally come from?" So I came home and asked my great-grandma. I said, "Great-grandma, where are we from?" She said, "We're from Lake Victoria." Lake Victoria? That's a country in Africa? She said, "No, dear, they stole our country and they put a name, Lake Victoria, on. So I'm from nowhere? I don't want that to happen to other people. I don't want people to be from nowhere. I want to help establish African cities, such as what they're doing with the new airport and the new airport city. I'm very enthused about that. No, don't say your time. I'm chairman of United Churches. Wow, didn't know what I was getting into. So I said, well, how do I help the churches? Let me find a way to get them money. Let me find a way to get them loans. So while I was doing that, my Nenza Mondiale is a group that loans money out all over the world. So that means I can send money to any place in Africa. And it's a yes or no business.
Yes.
You know, not that long conversation. Check and see if it's registered, if you fit in, if you have your 501c or whatever organization thing you have, and they say yes or no. That's what we're going to be doing. No conversation, yes or no. We want to build places. So now, the International Agricultural Summit Group, they want to set up warehouses of foods in Africa with investments for the community, so you don't lose it. With investments for the community, so that you don't lose it. And they're in the yes or no business too. Do you want it or you don't want it? So that's where I am. Right now, Bishop Phillips in Colorado was setting up a homeless program, homeless housing for people who did not have housing and people who did not have places to work at in Colorado. So he needed money. So right now, they're setting up a position where he gets money for his housing program in Colorado so that people will be housed. Homelessness is attacking us. One of the things that the World Conference of Maires is doing, they're bringing mayors from all over the world together. From Canada, from Africa, from South America. We have to come together for survival so that we are no longer attacked. And all we have to do is be together and we can no longer be attacked. We can eat the food that we want to eat and not the food that's given to us. So, originally what I was doing was the International Basketball Clinic of Love and Peace for Kids. That way I can talk to any big range group and tell them about the International Basketball Clinic for Kids, Love and Peace. You know, if I'm at a basketball clinic, you know, I put a ball in the middle of the floor and I have two kids running to get it, and one of them comes back and I said, the whole object of this athletic is to go get the ball, no matter what sport you're playing. And the first kid comes back with the ball, I give him $10. I said, you know, this is not only good for basketball, it's good for raising your hand in class. It's good for taking a garbage out. Now the first kid that says thank you, I give him $20. That holds it. I give him $20. And I tell them, thank you is good manners. It's also communication in whatever sport you're doing or whatever you're doing, because you're going to have to communicate with people. And thank you starts you on the way to communication. I said, my mother told that to me. I listened to it because she had a 97% of being right. She told me, she said, you don't have good manners. I said, what? She said, you don't have good manners. You're not reading well because you didn't go to your teacher and say, will you please help me? And when she says yes, you say thank you, you didn't do that. So I told her, I can't be doing it. I'm like, you know, I have to fight these kids. So I went to Miss Reynolds, she didn't like me. I went to Miss Reynolds, she didn't like me. Okay, so I went to Miss Reynolds and I said, Miss Reynolds, I'm not reading well. Will you help me read well? She said yes. So I said, thank you. And she said, you know, Bobby? I said, what? She said, you know, you're one of my favorites. I didn't believe it. Well, I started saying thank you, and by the time I got to college, I found out what thank you meant and what communication is, and that's what I do all over the world, communication. Tomorrow at Salem Church, I'm having an International Love and Peace basketball clinics for kids, where I'll be telling them about sports, community, and how to be better in your life. because one day, Holcomb Rucker from Rucker Park told me how to be better in my life. So I have to thank him. And I thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much, Bobby, for that. Honorable Bobby Hunter, thank you so much. And so it starts there. It starts with the children having an opportunity to get into a basketball program and be able to recognize the value to bring forward into their families and into their community. And we continue that, taking that seriously as leadership opportunities. Leadership comes in so many different forms and format, but if you don't recognize the true value of leadership, which means working together, recognizing one's strength, being consistent, being disciplined, these are the things that you will learn in sports. And a camaraderie, a love for each other, to be able to win. And that's the type of winning we want to have here for the Senegalese in New York, and that's the type of winning we're going to win in Senegal also. Having the youth come together and taking basketball as an opportunity for careers in leadership. It's not only about playing the game, but it's about the camaraderie and it's about the careers that it can bring forward.
That was beautifully encapsulated. But as you know, we're not only talking about sports. Sports opens the opportunity for STEM programs, engineering programs, careers, management, direct selling. We also want to open opportunities where the agriculturists themselves can go directly to the people, to the big organizations, and be able to benefit without feeling cornered and centered and not being able to benefit their countries. Now, we are nonpartisan, right? So that's why we are bringing technology-based solutions to this equation, so that way we can have longevity and legacy throughout our lands. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that while we're here on behalf of the World Conference of Mayors, we are also here in the capacity of the Sons and Daughters of Africa, who has been established since 1970s and has over 1.2 million membership. Thank you very much.
Their message with the Sons and Daughters is, we're one family. And so we have to take heed of that. We come from different experiences, but we are one family, here and abroad, and we can get this work done. One big piece of that initiative is what we're bringing forward, which is a 6-week program. The 6-week program is working with legend Paul Kofter, who is a number 3 FIBA coach. Now, specifically, we want to talk about having this clinic here. Why is that important? Because we need to get the youth here involved. We know that you're walking in the streets, you see everyone. What are they doing? Where do they have space to do it in? How can they be involved in knowing that whatever they're doing is going back to the family and is going back to Senegal? So we have this program for them.
Yes. Us speaking about Paul Kofter is not doing him any justice. We must speak to the person that actually brought him to the States. So please, pass the mic to Raza. We'd like to know what Paul Kofter is bringing and some of his background.
As everyone knows, I'm Raza. So Paul Kofter is a FIBA expert. He's one of 16 awarded Coach of the Year by FIBA. He's won over 1,000 victories on that platform. He's come here to bring that knowledge to our youth so we can install leadership, quality, and skills that they can transfer anywhere in the industry.
turn.
And what the goal is to have introduction of what the brings to a 60 program representing the East, where we can go ahead and run the different programs we have to bolster that sports initiative, where not only will we open up trade from here to send about to different countries in Africa and back, but also give opportunities to people here to be employed, to be able to learn new skills and skill sets that they can take that into their life and actually success. And that's
And I might also add that not only with that, thanks to the Honorable Bobby Hunter, he has thrown in and helped us tremendously to throw in the hat of Phil Rucker of the Rutgers tournament. You might not have heard of it, but you can Google it, and you will see that they've played an essential part in all the players of the NBA and all the known ones that you've ever heard of. Thank you very much.
Now, I have to say something for the ladies. I'm not being biased, but I want to say this. When we're talking about sports and basketball, understand there is a big element being pushed to have women's basketball. That means recognizing the leadership that women have in their homes and their ability to come together and bring economics back home. And so that's a great opportunity, like FIFA has with their red card program. Bobby?
Good.
We recognize the work that women do, and we want to be able to support them in the environmental areas that they can contribute to when it comes to climate change. And so with that, we're supporting them also and having a word and a say to bring that back to the families. Oh.
You lost. Women's basketball. It's very important. It's very creative. One of the Globetrotters started a mixed gender league. We played in Louisiana. 2 women on a team with 3 men. And then there's a woman's 4-point shot to make up for the dunking. It's a very creative thing to see 2 women playing with 3 men in the mixed gender basketball league. Women's basketball is even more important because women's rights are not respected. What do I mean by women's rights are not respected? One day, about 8 years ago, I was talking to Dr. Ife Williams about Shirley Chisholm, who started the National Program for Women. And she told me women's rights are only in 38 states. Women's rights in America is only in 38 states? I felt offended. So every motion that I do, every group that I'm with, every time I'm somewhere, I speak about that, about getting this changed. So even when the MMM called me, the Million Mother March, and said, we want you to lead on our, I said, no, I got enough. She said, well, I heard you speak about women's rights. I said, okay, I'll be on that. The MMM are going to be marching and trying to develop rights for women in various communities, with various women such as Sandra Mayo. I will be helping them in any manner I can. So women's rights are very important. And we're not talking about basketball, we're talking about the mothers of this earth that keep us going.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, all that is to say, I'm going to keep it short, is basically to say that these are all the enrichment programs that we're bringing here to Afrocentric TV, to Serene and his companies, and to all his teams. This is basically what we agreed to, and this is what we're doing.
And this is where we'll stay. Thank you.
All right.
like saying we're gonna have
Okay, a round of applause.
They're gonna ask questions.
Yeah.